Alright, let's get real. We're going deep here. No sugarcoating. No BS. You think you're protecting yourself, but you're just digging your own grave. Picture this, you're standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down into the abyss. The winds, they're howling around you. The world feels like it's spinning, and you're clinging to a rope with every ounce of strength you have. The rope is the lifeline that could pull you out of this mess. The one thing keeping you grounded, connected. But here's what you do. You cut the rope. Why? Because you're convinced if you just shut everything and everyone out, you'll be safe. You'll be protected from pain, from heartbreak, from the hurt that keeps bubbling up inside. But here's the thing. Cutting that rope. You think it's a way to protect yourself, but all it's doing is isolating you. You think you're freeing yourself, but really, you're just falling deeper into the hole. Every step you take away from people, you bury yourself further in the pit of loneliness and despair. You think, fuck it, I don't need anyone. But what you really need, what you're desperately avoiding, is connection. That's the kicker. The very thing you're rejecting is the one thing that can save you. So you keep pushing people away, and each time you do, you sink a little deeper into the muck of self-doubt, into the black hole of depression, thinking the walls are closing in. You isolate because the pain feels easier that way, but eventually isolation becomes a prison. And every time you push someone away, it's like locking the door on the outside world and throwing away the key. Human beings, they're wired for connection. We're social creatures, hardwired to need others. You're not a fucking island. We thrive on empathy, understanding, and love. Those are our lifelines. Disconnect from that. Yeah, your brain is going to go haywire. Chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin that keep you feeling balanced, they're all running dry, replaced by the dark cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline, pushing you further into that hole. But how do you get out? Here's the secret. Well, not really a secret, more like common sense. But it's not easy. You need to connect. The very thing you're avoiding, the very thing you're terrified of, connection, is the lifeline that can pull you back. Imagine you're on that cliff again. Instead of cutting the rope, you reach out and grab it with both hands. Now maybe that rope isn't perfect, but it's there. And it's strong enough to pull you back up if you let it. The moment you decide to hold on to that rope is the moment you stop falling. The moment you stop digging the hole. It might feel scary to reach out. Hell, it might even make you feel weak. But what's worse? Being in that endless spiral of isolation, where you slowly start to wither. Or asking for help. Leaning into the love and support that's already there. Why do you do this? Why push people away? Here's the deal. Hurt people hurt people. That's the reality. You've been hurt, so you lash out. You push people away before they have the chance to hurt you first. And I get it. I do. But it's a lie. It's an illusion that your pain will go away if you shut everyone out. That illusion might feel safe, but in reality, it just traps you in a cycle of self-pity, resentment and anger. What's the root of it? Fear of vulnerability, fear of being rejected. You don't want to get hurt again, so you shut people out before they can hurt you, and guess what happens? You hurt yourself in the process. It's like you're cutting off your own oxygen supply, just because you're scared of breathing in the wrong air. But the truth Isolation breeds more pain. It's a downward spiral. The more you push away, the more pain you carry, and the harder it becomes to break the cycle. So how do you break the cycle? Here is where you need to get creative. Reconnect, reach out. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Do it because you deserve it. Because every time you open up to someone, you're not just finding connection. You're finding a piece of yourself that you thought was lost forever. You don't have to expose your entire soul at once. Just start small. A text, a call, a smile. It doesn't matter how tiny the step. As long as it's a step forward. And when you're reaching out, remember this. It's not a weakness to ask for help. It's a strength. What's the alternative? Sitting in your emotional shit. Trapped in your own mind. Your own demons. Feeling like you're sinking. Ask yourself, what's the cost of staying isolated? What's the cost of holding onto that rope and refusing to let anyone pull you out? It's the slow, painful death of the soul. Here's the real truth. If you keep cutting the rope, the hole gets deeper. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to climb out. But if you reach out, lean into connection, let people love you. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but it's the only way out. Stop pretending like you can do it alone. You can't. None of us can. And guess what? You're not weak for needing others. You're human. Now think about this. What would happen if you let go of the fear? What would happen if instead of cutting people off, you let them in? How much lighter would your soul feel? Imagine a life where instead of isolating, you embrace connection. A life where you're not constantly fighting against yourself, but rather with the people who love and support you. What happens to your energy, your mood, your outlook on life? Does your world get a little brighter, a little lighter? Does your self-worth start to rise again, like a ship that's no longer sinking but floating? The science, every act of connection releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which helps reduce stress and anxiety. It increases feelings of warmth, trust and connection. By reaching out and being open, you're literally rewiring your brain to respond better to the world around you. It's not just some fluffy new age nonsense. It's biology. Fear of rejection, let's call it what it is. Ego. You're afraid of being judged, rejected, misunderstood. So what? Who cares? Your ego does. That's who. Your ego is the part of you that keeps you small. The part that says you don't deserve love. You don't deserve connection. You don't deserve anything good. It's bullshit. It's your fear talking. And guess what? You can tell that fear to fuck off. When you stop listening to that voice and start listening to your heart instead, you become free. You start attracting people who are aligned with your highest self, who are willing to meet you at your level, who will help you rise. The key here, let people in. Stop isolating. Stop thinking you're better off alone. That's the path to self-destruction. The real path to power, growth and healing is found in connection. So reach out, open up, stop pushing people away and start pulling them in. This is the one simple truth. You don't have to be alone in this. And if you are, it's because you're choosing to be. Now think about that. What happens if you stop choosing isolation? What happens if you choose connection instead? Your life changes. Simple as that.